Hey guys, welcome back to our weekly live event. Hope everyone had a great week. It's been super busy over here, looking at a lot of deals and a little blurry. That's better. Looking at lots of deals, so it's been a very busy week. Doing loans, doing refis, doing taxes. Been very blessed. Very blessed. How's everyone else been doing? Come to the gym later at night. My team works out at 6 o'clock, so I work out with my team. So we have a schedule now. Hustling. Yo. Doggy coin to the moon, you losers. I'm looking into real estate. That's good. You should look into real estate. You can make lots of money in real estate. Awesome. Hope everyone has been having a blessed week. What's up, Teen Ambition? Teen Ambition's working with me. He's actually looking on finding some deals for me. So he's bird dogging it for me. He's trying to find me some deals. I can cut him some money for the deal or cut him money for, his time or ownership interest. My day was good. Lots of taxes, lots of mortgages, lots of opportunities to get more properties. So it's just good stuff. Are you a property developer or a builder? So I basically burr apartment complexes. That's what my main focus is. And then I do some commercial deals and some flips, whatever makes sense for that specific property. Nick says, yo, Pascal, can you explain some options we can invest our stimulus check into better ourselves? I mean, I think crypto is going to be good for a few more months. Hedera Hash Grab, which is HBAR, is the one that I think is going to do pretty well. That's Amazon, Amazon's company. ADA should do pretty well. I think Chainlink should do pretty well. But then I'd be careful after a few months from now because it's going to be a little rocky. I mean, this year is going to be a lot like last year. And depending on what the Fed says, it can, make the market even rockier. So be careful, guys, because the stock market, crypto market is very volatile. If you buy real estate in a good area, maybe prices might become volatile, but your consistency in rent could be the same. So when the market tanked and I was in the real estate in 08, even though prices fell, I continued renting everything. So it didn't matter that much, So you got to be cautious of that. Team Vision says, I've been on it, brother, every morning. Awesome. Yeah, keep on it. These opportunities are going to come, not always right away, but eventually. So, real estate guys, trying to get this thing to focus, not focusing. So real estate guys, it is a long-term game. You can't think of it short-term. You got to think about it long-term. You got to think about, a 5-10 year period. Don't think about it like 1 week, 1 month. You are putting in more work up front, but the payout is so much bigger. And now there's other people that are just getting in the game and they have some money, but it doesn't matter how much money you have because the game, it's who knows how to play it better. And because I know how to play it better, even though other people are coming in with bigger pockets, I'm able to make moves that they can't do because I know more moves than that. So keep conscious of that. Ronald says, let me know when you're able to refi in New Jersey. Will do. I am licensed in New Jersey, but I'm getting my company registered there, so it's going to take some time. What's up, Mike? So I got a question here. It says, how can we grow our motivational page? Consistently post and provide value. That's what I'd say. Consistently post and provide value. And people will keep following because they want to learn. They want to grow. For you guys that don't know, I answer the questions on who requests to go live first. Second, whoever puts a question on YouTube, then whoever puts a question in the question section on IG. Yo, what's up, Netherlands? My cousin's actually in Netherlands. He works there. He's been there for probably like 15 years now. So I visited Amsterdam, very clean city, very nice city. It's a great place to go visit. If you guys haven't visited, definitely check out Amsterdam. What's up, Abe? So guys, what questions do you have for me? I want to help you guys learn. I want to help you guys grow. What do I think about a quad? I really love quads. Quads are awesome. Quads are a great option to grow your portfolio. And when you're doing loans, you're only allowed 10 personal loans through Fannie Freddie. So if you bought 10 quads, you would have 40 units. And buying a quad for your first property is a really good idea. And remember, it's location more the units, but quads are good. How do I make you a mentor? I'm already a mentor. What do I think of NFTs? NFTs, obviously, they're the new wave, and you got to just be conscious because not everything is going to do well, right? Not every cryptocurrency does well. And right now, cryptocurrency is really hot. So even ones that would never do well are doing pretty well now. So be cautious. If you ever think everything in an industry is amazing, that means you're in a bubble. Not everything in an industry can be amazing. There's going to be winners and there's losers. All right. Shafe says, hey, Pascal, I'm looking to buy a multi-resident. What are some of the risk factors I have to be cautious about? And what type of multi-residents do you recommend for first-time multi-buyers? Location is key. You got a great location, you got a great tenant, then you're not going to have as many problems. From that, when you have a good location and a good tenant, then you just have to make sure that the build of the property is good, that it's in good standing, good foundation, good plumbing, electrical, AC, roof, and then that is able to be done through an inspection. So first I look at the location, then I look at the building. I don't look at a building then the location, right? So that's key. Location is key. Location, location, location. All right, guys. What's up, guys? Ronald also says, does a Heloc have a fixed interest rate? You can get a home equity loan, which is a second lien position, similar to a Heloc, but a second loan has a fixed interest rate and a fixed amount of loan and payment, where Heloc has a variable interest rate and you can spend the money and that'll pay down the loan, which makes it flexible. So a Heloc itself does not have a fixed interest rate. Now, your Heloc can have a fixed interest rate for maybe 6 months or a year. Some of them are like that, but most of them are a floating rate that are pegged to the LIBOR or pegged to prime rate. All right. Sure, big time. You can go live. What do you want to talk about? All right. So Mike will make it says, in Ohio, the prices of multifamily is 240,000 or more. Is that undervalued or under? Okay. So I'm guessing you're saying in Ohio, the multi-units are 220K. Is that undervalued or overvalued? Remember, price is not value. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. You could pay $1 million for a property and it could be undervalued. You could pay $1 million for a property and it could be overvalued. And I know different parts of the country have different pricing, but even within a city, it can have different pricing. The cities that I buy in, certain streets are worth $300 a square foot plus. Other streets in the same city are only worth $150 a square foot. I prefer buying in the 300 plus square foot area. And what I try to do is get a property at 200 a square foot. So someone would say, Pascal, why did you buy that beat up property for 200 a square foot where you could buy another one, in the different part of the same city for 150 a square foot? The reason is when I'm done remodeling this property that is 200 a square foot, I will have a fully remodeled property under 300 a square foot where most are selling over 300. So I built in value through my rehab. So I forced equity through my rehab. And that's how I like it. I like forcing equity because then you're going to make money. Treasurer says, do you always have to pay 20% when you want a loan? No. First-time home buyers is 3.5% down. There's other loans you could get as a owner occupant for 5% or 10% down. I have one of my clients now. She has 3 properties, and she contacted me this morning saying she wanted to buy a 4th property as a primary residence. It has a mother-in-law suite in the back, an AUD, and she wants to put down 10%. And, she can. That's an option. All right. How do you determine a good location? Well, if it's a part of town that you want to be in, it's probably a good location. Good school district is awesome. Medium income or higher income is really good as well. Downtown cores are my bet. I really think downtown cores are going to be good for the next 15 years. Lots of appreciation there. Do you provide financing in Canada as well or just US? For now, just US. Thanks, Mike. What?
We have someone we don't.
Do we?
Kristen.
Oh, Kristen has someone in Canada that does financing? All right. Well, I guess we do financing in Canada as well. All right. At least we have a referral for you. I don't see how to request live. Just a quick question. You can log off and then log back on, and then they'll ask you about going live. I got to put down 20% on a quad. Well, 25% on a quad is what's standard for an investment property. But if it's owner occupied, there's chances where you could put down less than that. What cap rates should we target for duplex, triplex, quad? Well, do you finance in California? Yes, we do financing in California. The cap rate, remember, don't get confused by cap rate. Don't get caught up with cap rate. Because, with cap rate, you could buy a property as a 10 cap, but it's in the hood and it's never going to go up in value, right? Or it's rare for it to go up in value unless it's going to be an area that's being gentrified. Now, what I focus on is not cap rate. I focus on, can I add value? Can I buy a property that is worth, 300 and I put in 100,000? Someone wants to book a property on Airbnb. You can get 11. I got a property on Airbnb that someone wants to book for $1,123. So I want to find a property right now. One of the properties I'm looking at now is a quadplex. They're asking $675. A bunch of offers are being put on a place, and we're looking to probably buy it at like $700,000. So when I buy it at $700, I'm probably going to put in $150,000 into it, maybe $250 into it, depending on how bad it is. That property, we're going to be able to Airbnb and make $10,000 a month from it. In that scenario, that property, when we're done, with the rehab, it should probably be worth like $1.3 million. So I'm in it for, say $950, and we built in another $350 in equity. That is what I'm looking for. Now, initially, if I look at the cap rates for this property, I think the cap rates are going to be like 5%, 6%. But I'm not looking at the initial cap rate. I'm looking at what can I make it, not what it is. Because in the past, 10 years ago, you're looking at cap rate on what it is. And because the market is so competitive now, it's so hard to find deals, you have to go out and find deals. You have to find ways to make equity. And that's kind of the struggle. Sam wants to go live. I added him to the live. And guys, I actually seen that you can have 4 people live at the same time. So let's see if maybe we can get more people live at the same time. Let's see how that works. At what age did you start building your own business and buying a house? I started working when I was 8. From between 8 to 11, I was working at a barbershop. After that, I was, doing a little bit of construction. At 14, I was learning about real estate. I was doing more construction, and I saved up all that money to the time I was about 19. And at 19, I bought my first duplex. At that time, I also started doing taxes, like personal tax returns. I went to college for accounting, got my accounting degree, got my finance degree. So I kept buying multi-units from 19 to 23. I owned 23 units, built $3.2 million worth of real estate, kept doing accounting, kept doing real estate investing, fixing up the properties, kept growing. Kind of got bored. I needed more stuff to do. I opened up an insurance agency, had that grow as well. When I was 19 to 22, I was doing loans at the bank. And after that point, I left the bank. I was doing all my own businesses. Fast forward, I now have a mortgage company, I have an accounting firm, and I have an insurance agency. I have the real estate investment company. We do construction for our own properties and property management as well. So I have all of those businesses. It's all good. Have you heard of a Smith in Canada, and it's involving paying your mortgage and then borrowing it back to use for the reno? That doesn't make any sense. I've heard other people talk about paying for a mortgage and then borrowing it back. It doesn't make any sense to pay your mortgage and then borrow it back. It's very rare, unless you're going to buy a house, put 20% down when you buy the house, and then get a home equity line of credit after the fact. Or put down 25% and then get a home equity line of credit after the fact. All right, let's see if this works. Everyone's saying they're getting a bad connection. What's up, Oscar? Oscar says, hey, Pascal, always appreciate your input. I have 3 Airbnbs, but a lot of people are asking us to do long-term. Would you go more secure long-term, less hassle, but less money, or short-term, more money? It depends on your scenario. If your situation is able to do long-term and you're making enough money from your job, then do that. That's how I did it. I had 23 units, but they're all long-term, so it took less work. But if you do have the time or the energy and there is money to be made, like a lot more money. So for example, say you're going to rent it long-term for $1,000 a month, but as an Airbnb, you can make $2,000 to $2,500 a month. That's not what you could make. That's what you are making when you do rent it. Then do it as an Airbnb. If you don't have time, hire a property manager to do it. All right. So if you're making enough money, you could pay a property manager. Because think about it, $1,000 a month regularly, but an Airbnb you're making $2,500. Standard property manager for Airbnb charges 10 to 15%. 15% is what is going to be roughly, $400. So okay, you're paying $400, and now you're still making 2,100 minus all the fees and whatever. You're making extra money. So great, do it. Now, if the market slows down, then you make it back to annual rentals. So what I normally do is during the busy season, I make them short term. And then when they goes to the slow season, I make them annual rentals for like 7 or 9 months. Then I have them come back out during the busy season again, and I bring in that extra money. So I try to do that when I can, but I also have people on my team to be able to help with that. I'm not doing everything myself. All right, let's see if this works. DM me, Shaker, and then I'll be able to find someone to help you. It doesn't seem like the live thing is working right now, so I'm going to end this live and I'm going to start a new one. Hopefully that's going to be able to bring you guys on live. All right. Treasure Bandit says, can you do a teen in real estate? Yes. Once you're 18, you can buy real estate. You have to be 18 years old, or you have to have your parents co-sign. Oscar says, all right, answered that one. Also says, can you please explain the different ways to evaluate a multifamily? Cap, cash on cash return, etc. So the ways you can evaluate a multifamily property is one, the simplest one is cap rate. It means if you paid all cash for the property, how much are you going to make in return? The other way that I do it is you have to see if I buy a property at a low cap rate, but I invest extra money into it. So let's just say you buy $1 million property and it's only 4 cap, but you can put in $250,000 into it and you can actually double the rents. Well, now you're netting $80,000 a month based off of a $1.25 million of cost. That return is great. The great news is now you can go back to the bank and do a refinance. The bank will probably estimate that property at $1.75 million. Now that $1.75 million, you do a cash out refi, you pull out most of your equity. So you do have a property that you bought at 4 cap. You did add value into it, and now you're able to refi and pull out most of your money. Since you have most of your money back, your cash on cash return becomes very high. Where initially when you were looking at the deal, your cash on cash was low. So you forced equity and created a way to get cash out. That is what I do. And if you're able to find opportunities to create more equity, that is where you're going to really win. Alrighty. I keep on trying to add Sam, but for some reason it's not working. Guys, remember, if you want to have a question, put it in the question section on IG. Ronald says, can you take out 100% loan to value from a Heloc and only use 20% of the money? And does the bank charge you for the 20% that you are using? So yes, if you have a property paid off and you have a $500,000 property and you get a $500,000 Heloc and you only use $50,000, you only pay interest on the $50,000. Tom, sir, yes, I am a lender as well. So DM me. I'll be happy to help you get lending. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and I'll answer your questions. Remember, guys, ask to go live and I'll be able to answer your questions live. What can you do as a teen in real estate? So you can buy property, you can wholesale property, you can flip the paper. There's a lot of things you can do in real estate. You can bird dog, you can do construction, many options. It's strange that people aren't able to join. That's it, guys. I think I'm shadow banned. All right, let's see. Ronald, you're welcome. It's good to see everyone on IG. Thank you for all the love. Thank you guys for all on YouTube for all the love as well. Thank you for the likes and the hearts. I really appreciate that. It's a great way to show your appreciation for all the hard work we put in. As you can tell, there's a lot of work, and there's not really much you get off of IG stuff like that, right? I sell a course, sell courses once in a while. I don't really make any money off of that. So your appreciation, your likes, all of your positivity is really awesome. And thank you for coming to me when you need a refinance or when you need help with your corporate taxes or individual taxes. We do taxes across the country. We do loans in multiple states. And we also do insurance in the state of Florida, home insurance, auto insurance, landlord policies. So in Florida, we're a one-stop shop. You come to my office, we'll do taxes, insurance, we'll do payroll, we'll do the financing, we'll do it all, A to Z. You're welcome, Mike. Thanks, Val. I studied basically my whole life because I really love this stuff. You can tell that I really enjoy doing this. So basically just giving you guys the knowledge that I spent ever since 14 years old till now, last 21 years, just constantly studying and analyzing deals and financing options. So you got a question here. It says, value went up 50K. Can I pull that out as equity? You probably can, but probably the best way for you to pull it out is a home equity line of credit. To do a refinance just to get 50K might not be worth it. Now, if it's worth 500K and you only owe 200, then a cash out refi will probably be better because you have enough equity there. You can probably get a $350,000 loan, walk with $150,000 and get a really low interest rate. All right. Are there ways to make HELOC interest deductible? HELOC interest is deductible. It's one, if you're using it for business purposes, it's a business deduction. If you're using it for your personal purposes, then it's an equity, home equity line of credit can be deducted on your itemized deduction on your personal tax return. So if you cannot itemize, or it's not worth it for you to itemize, but you're using that money as a business expense, then there you go. You can charge it off as a business expense instead of a personal expense. All right. All right. Let's see here. What are the questions we got here? Is there a way not to sign a personal guarantee to get a loan on a company? Well, once you become large enough, you can do loans without a personal guarantee. But in the beginning, when you're smaller, you're going to personally guarantee the deals. Do you think the housing market will drop? It will drop, but I don't see it dropping anytime soon. In Florida, in Texas, in Arizona, it's not going to drop anytime soon. If you're talking about California, you're talking about New York, or any market that is rural, it's likely to drop sooner. The blue states are likely to drop sooner than the red states because a lot of people are moving to the blue states. All right, guys. Great stuff. Great questions. Okay. Next question, he says, which one is more profitable, a rental property or a parking lot for trucks? So that really determines what market you're in, because some markets you're in, you could maybe buy a lot for $50,000 and you can charge $1,000 a month in rent. And that's a great return. That's about 24% return on your money. It's awesome. Some markets, you really can't find that opportunity, and you're going to find multi-units to be more profitable. Some are commercial. So right now, I was looking at that commercial deal. I think you guys know I'm working on that $7.5 million commercial deal in downtown. I had a meeting today with some of the potential investors about the deal. We're raising money. We need to raise like $3 million for that deal. So it's going to make good money. That deal, a lot of people, when I initially showed it to them, they were turned off. All right? This is very important for you guys to listen to because there's a lot to learn here. Back in 2008, when I was buying real estate, people were turned off from residential real estate. People didn't want to buy multi-units. I was starting to buy them. People didn't want them, and I bought them. Now, I'm selling them because everybody wants them. I bought low, I sold high, right? Now, people don't want commercial real estate. So they're getting discounts. You get discounts when you buy them. People don't like the idea of it. That is why we're getting a discount. And that's why later when we sell them, we're going to get a lot of money because we bought them when people weren't interested, and we're going to sell them when people are interested. I have a lot of people asking to go live. For some reason, it's just not working.
Can you go live on YouTube?
I don't know if I can. I don't know how to go live on YouTube. I'm not sure. Do you think mortgage rates will drop any lower? I don't really think they're going to drop any lower than this in the short term. If you're asking me in 10 years, do you think mortgage rates will drop? Yes. I think that America will match Germany, Switzerland, and Sweden, and we're going to eventually have a 2% and a 1% home mortgage rate, and we have mortgage rates that are 50 years and 100-year terms. I believe that's going to happen because we are not able to pay down this debt. We're going to go through a hyperinflationary period, and when we're not able to pay down this debt, what they're going to do to be able to make the debt affordable is they're going to constantly lower the interest rates so we can have more debt, but smaller payments. NFTs have a lot of potential, but right now they're very fresh, very new. So we're going to have a crazy bubble, and eventually they're going to adjust, and they're going to have a staying power. Remember, everything has its ebbs and flows, right? Cars, for some point in time, had a crazy high value. They crashed, And now cars have crazy high values again, collector cars. Same thing with baseball cards. For a period of time, they got killed. No one was collecting cards, or at least not very many people. Now they're in popularity again, and now they go for crazy money for these cards. I think like a rookie Jordan card is like $250,000, where like 5 years ago it was like 20. You know, like it's crazy that in 5 years it's gonna pop up more than 10 times. Lots of questions. What is the best way to make money as a 16-year-old? Honestly, flip real estate paper. Get a property under contract for under value and flip that contract to a real estate investor that wants to rehab the property. Pokemon cards. I used to collect Pokemon. I actually still have Pokemon cards, edition 1 Pokemon cards. I kept them. All right. Someone just sent me a message just saying baby. That's it. All right. What part of Florida am I based out of? I'm based out of Tampa, Florida. All righty. What do you look for when you're looking for into a property manager? To be honest, we do property management in-house, so I don't really have to look for a property manager. But basically, if you're looking for a property manager, you want someone that's telling you, that's teaching you something. If you're hiring anybody for a specific role, a specialty role, they should be able to teach you something. Now, you maybe are very knowledgeable and there's nothing much that you can be taught, or there's very few things you can be taught. We can always learn, but then maybe there's very few things you can be taught. At that point, act like you don't know anything and see how much they know and how much they can teach you, how much they can help you. Because and they take on the role, most roles, especially specialty roles, is what do they know or how good is their problem solving skills? So you want to ask them what they know and check and give them examples of problems and how they would resolve it. That's what you want in a property manager. Problem solving skills. Alrighty. Having a lot of issues on IG. Whew. I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired. I am tired. Alrighty. So, hope everyone is doing great. So what are some of your goals, or what are some of the issues you guys are having that's keeping you to go to the next level? Can you turn on the fan? It's hot. Can you talk about pros and cons on investing in real estate and opportunity zones? So opportunity zones normally are lower income or rural areas. When you're investing in a low income or rural area, you normally get higher cap rates, which means you make more money on an all cash purchase. The reason you're getting more money is because normally that area has some trouble. So some type of issues, either the economy isn't that stable, or there's not a lot of jobs or housing available. So they're trying to incentivize people to increase the amount of business in the area, increase the amount of properties and so on, to stimulate the economy. Well, what I said at the beginning was this area already has trouble. So the reason you're getting higher returns and the reason you're getting tax incentives is because for you to be encouraged to deal with the trouble. Now, a lot of the properties I'm investing in aren't opportunity zones. There are zones where there currently has a great business going on right now, lots of money, lots of flow, and I'm buying properties, again, on the higher end of the price range and in the nicer part of town. I'm remodeling them and I'm increasing it even more. So why do I do that? Because it's more of a guarantee. Opportunity zones, it's less of a guarantee. So you're being incentivized to take on the additional risk, the risk from the weaker economy, the risk for the lower unemployment rates, the risk for not having even maybe the issue might be not being many people in the area. So the point is, you're getting this incentive because there's more risk. Tell me that you would like the story from Syria to the USA. So at 3 years old, I came from Syria to the USA. My dad came from Syria right when I was born, basically like the day that I was born. He left to America. And my mom and me and my sister stayed in Syria for 3 years until finally he was established. And then, we left Syria and came to America. I lived in New Jersey. I grew up in New Jersey till we moved from New Jersey when I was 11. So I lived in New Jersey from 3 to 11. I lived in Patterson, which is the hood, and then I moved to Spring Hill and Hudson when I came to Florida initially. After that, we moved to Oldsmar. This is basically Tampa market, and then we moved into Eastlake, which is part of the Tampa market. And along the way, I just learned as much as I could about finance because I thought it was crazy. I thought it was awesome. The amount of stuff you can do in the world of finance, if you know how to use the tools, is amazing. You really can go from nothing, right? I'm an immigrant child that came to this country, worked hard. I worked in New Jersey. You could like in New Jersey, you would have like commercial downstairs and you would have like a house upstairs. So down the street, there was a barber shop. So I would go from my house and I'd walk two buildings down to the barber shop. His name was Al. And I would go and sweep hair at Al's barber shop. And it was cool. I would make $15 a week. Saved up my money, bought myself video games, flipped video games, made more money, did stuff like that. My best week working at the barbershop as a kid was $40. So you can imagine how little I was making, but I was saving that money and reinvesting it. When you're starting, you're not going to make a lot of money when you reinvest. That's not the point. The point is for you to understand the concept and to learn good habits. And then as you grow, if you're good with $15 a week, you'll be good with $1.5 million a week, right? You just have to learn to be good with money. And yes, I do think I'm going to get to the point where I'm making like $250,000 a week. I know I'm going to be able to get to that point because money keeps growing as long as you keep investing. And eventually when you're making $100,000 a year, $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, as long as you stay humble, you will be able to not waste all that extra money and reinvest it. So that's how the rich get richer. Because if the rich are humble and you are able to save that money, you're still like really after $75,000 in a reasonable market. Like I'm not talking about New York City or LA, but in most of America, if you have $75,000 of income a year, you're living great. So if you're making $500,000 a year and you're living off of 100, 150, you have $350,000 being reinvested. And if you're reinvesting it in real estate, most of that money, if not all of the money, is going to be made tax-free. So I have a friend that's a doctor. He makes $350,000 a year. By the time he pays for all taxes and fees and everything else that it costs to be a doctor, he probably keeps like $150,000 to $200,000 of that money. But if I made that same amount of money as a real estate investor, I would pay almost no tax on that money because of all the incentives that I get as a real estate investor or a business owner. So definitely, you have to keep in mind the benefits that you get as a real estate investor tax-wise. Hey, Sarah. Yeah, I grew up in Newark. Yeah, we definitely was around Newark, New Jersey, and Lodi, and all of that area. So Paramus, I know the area well. I still have a lot of friends up there. Isam says you're the GOAT. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. So, do you think home prices are going to drop this year? This year, not likely. No. Next year, there's a better chance. At least in Florida. Now, if you're talking about New York or New Jersey or LA or a blue state that has a lot of exodus, yes, it can drop. But if you're talking about like Florida, Texas, Arizona, Tennessee, North Carolina, Memphis, no. People are moving there in droves. They want better quality of life. They want freedom, and they're willing to pay for it. Where are you from and where I live? I was born in Syria. As a kid, I grew up in New Jersey. Then I came down to Florida. Now I live in the Tampa market, and I've been here for about 25 years. What's up, Luz? How do you feel about property purchasing in Dallas, Texas? Dallas is going to be a strong market long term. So every time you look at real estate, if you look at the 10-year period, 15-year period, 10-year period, Dallas is going to be growing. It's going to be a good market. Minnesota, you know, I see a lot of people leaving the north. I mean, every day, 10,000 people in America turn 65. Every single day. They're going to be moving south. They're going to be moving to the warmer states. So when I'm making a business decision, I want the wind to be in my back. I want it to be with me and help me gain benefits. So I prefer to invest somewhere where everyone's going. That's going to cause the prices to keep going up. So Assam basically says, basically every Democrat state is bad for real estate. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're not wrong, right? There is some that are good. And in every state, no matter if it's New York or LA, and you guys know I don't like investing in those states, even in those states, you can find good deals, but you have to make sure the deal is good. In those states, it's harder to find good deals. What property tax is high and keeps increasing? I'm not really sure your question. Next question here says, I owe less than what the house is worth. That's good. What's your question? A stock you think has great potential to be a monster stock. Honestly, it's more crypto. I think HBAR has a ton to be a monster. I mean, I got into it not that long ago and it's already tripled. Already tripled my money. So, and I think HBAR has a lot of room for growth. It's the crypto Amazon uses for its product management. Is real estate at its peak? Every single financial sector is at its peak. Everyone, crypto, real estate, stock market. The only thing that is not at its peak is gold and silver. Gold and silver actually fell, which makes no sense because when you print more money, gold and silver goes up. So what is severely undervalued? Gold and silver by a crazy amount. Will bankruptcy help or hurt my chances of ownership? Bankruptcy will hurt your chance of home ownership. In the front end, in the long term, it's questionable. It really depends on your situation. But in the short term, yes, it's going to hurt. What is that tick symbol that what's the tick symbol for that crypto you mentioned? HBAR, HBAR. You know, do your own research on it. Tesla to the moon. Yeah, I think Tesla is very good. If you look at a 10-year period, it's going to be very good, especially when it's energy. Can you explain 1120S and a K1? Also, guys, if you need help with your 1120S, 1065s, personal tax return, we do all of that with my accounting firm, and we help with strategy. I had met with one of my clients, and he was telling me, he's like, we have this really high-end, very expensive accounting firm we've been using, and he mentioned to them one of the strategies I said that should be done. And it's not an accountant he's using, it's actually one that his partner's using on a separate company. And they said yes. Basically, they agreed with me. And they said, he's been using you for like 8 years. How come you've never suggested this thing that Pascal mentioned? And they said, well, you never hired us for consulting, and you never asked, and we don't freely give advice without, someone asking or saying something. Otherwise, we're just going to file the taxes as they are. And if you're paying extra, you're paying extra. And when he met with me, the first thing I told him was, you're paying too much. You need to change the way you're doing things. And right away, I said, you need to save money. So consulting is key. You can buy HBAR through Binance. And to explain what a K1 is, an 1120S and a 1065 are pass-through tax returns. They're pass-through entities. So what happens is that The K1 will show how much your portion of the company, the income and the expenses, that will be shifted onto your personal tax return, and based off of your personal tax return will determine how much you have to pay in taxes. For example, if you have an 1120S and there's two partners, you make $100,000 a year and another one of your partners makes $1 million a year. Even though you both made 50 grand, the person that makes $1 million a year will pay higher tax on that same income than you would. Give you another example. You both made $50,000 a year in K1s from this 1120S. You make $100,000 a year, and this person makes $500,000 a year. But they're a real estate investor, and they get a ton of write-offs. They can use the real estate write-offs to wash the K1 profit that they made. Children, thank you. I'm working to start selling a lot of my stuff in a month or two. I think the market's going to start topping off. Once everyone spends their stimulus checks, the market's going to jump up a lot. After that, I think it's going to crash. I've made over 100K in XRP. You should look into it. I own XRP. I've owned XRP for a while now. I own XRP. I've made 250% on XRP. I own HBAR. I own Ethereum. I have Chainlink. I have ADA. I have another one. I can't remember right now, but I have another one too. You can get it on Binance. You can buy HBAR on Binance. All right, let's see. Get some questions here. Hugo says, "Hi Pascal, I need my taxes done. Can you help?" Yes, my accounting firm can help. DM me. I'm happy to connect with you guys and help you with your taxes. Again, we do taxes, we do insurance, and we do mortgages. The more things that you use with my company, if you ever need to consult with me, it will be a lot faster and a lot cheaper. Because if I do your taxes, or if one of my people do your taxes, and then you need to consult with me about buying a property or doing something in the finance world, it will take me less time to review your documents because we already have it. You're already our client. If we're doing your mortgages, it takes me less time for me to do an analysis. But if we've never done any mortgages for you, we haven't done any taxes for you, you're a brand new client, it's going to take me more work to do the due diligence to give you an answer. It's well worth spending the money to get an answer because you don't want to waste money. You'd rather get financial advice, make a smart decision, and not lose $1 million or $500,000 on a property. But the point is, the more services you have, the more bundled and discounted rates you get. All right. I grew up around the East Side high school area. What part of Patterson? To be honest with you, I don't remember. I can't tell you streets because I was like 11 years old. But it was right before the big hill drop. I just remember there was a really big hill dropping. Now when I go back to New Jersey, as you guys know, Patterson's pretty rough. I don't go to Patterson. I'm hanging out in like Paramus and Paramus, right? Edgewater, Paramus, like in the nicer part right now. What do you think about becoming a real estate agent and collecting the commission and getting more access? Doesn't matter that much. To be honest with you, I haven't been an agent ever, and I'm doing very well. It's not about that. Can someone actually get a 10K refund in taxes from owning a duplex? Yeah, for sure. They could definitely get a 10K refund in taxes for owning a duplex. It's not owning a duplex or owning a single family home or owning a fourplex or 100-unit complex. It's how you do your taxes. Is your tax professional competent or not competent? That's rude. Are they a real estate specific accountant? Because I know things other accountants don't know. They're not going to know. All right. What do you think about the New Brunswick, New Jersey part near Rutgers? It's good. I moved out a year ago. I live in Garfield, New Jersey now. Nice. New Jersey is nice, but again, I think there's a lot more growth potential. significant larger return on investment in the southern states. Do you know strategies for taxes before your kid goes to college? Yeah, there's strategy. What specifically are you mentioning? One very good way to save money on taxes, say you make $300,000, $500,000 a year and you own your own small business. A good way to actually save money on your taxes is by, wow, that took forever to approve it. Okay.
It's good.
All right. All right, that was weird. He was in the shower. Why would you go live if you're in the shower? All right, guys, this is weird. Lots of technical difficulties here. Lots of technical difficulties. I apologize. Want to answer a couple more questions for you guys before we call it a night. What was that? I don't know, man. I don't know what that was. Nico, why don't you tell me? What was that? All right. How can you calculate how much a Heloc you are able to get on your home? So it depends on the lender. Some people can go to 89.9% of their home value. Some people can go to 100% of their value. It depends. What's up, guys? So it depends. You have to calculate to see what your lender is willing to go to. So if they're willing to go to 89.9, you have a $100,000 property. They're willing to go to $89,000 basically on the Heloc. So it's really not that hard, just simple calculations. Big brother tapping into our business. Yeah, Big brother's in the bathroom tapping into our business. Will a fixed rate mortgage ever be this low again? I think it will in like 10 or 15 years from now, but I think it will. Can you explain the benefits of a small business LLC versus a sole proprietor? So there isn't really a difference between a small business LLC and a sole proprietorship because they could technically both be filed as a Schedule C. Not really much tax difference in that scenario. You could maybe have some legal benefits as an LLC compared to a sole proprietor, but not a tax benefit. You would actually need to file as an 1120-S to get a tax benefit. All right, guys, let's see how this works. What drives you every day to keep this high energy work? So George, we've been talking a lot, right? You guys have a large real estate portfolio. These guys have a lot in New York, and I really enjoy what I'm doing. For me, it's a puzzle. It's a game. That's what it's about. So when I go and I find this property and they're telling me, well, we don't know if we can actually get this done or that done, I find that it's a challenge. I find that as a sense of pride to be able to make something beautiful again. And I find that a sense of artistic outlet to be able to make a property look great again. In addition, to be able to mix it with being able to make money as well. So it's kind of like if you think about an artist and how an artist will spend all this time to paint or to play music. And you'd wonder, why would someone literally play music all day long or paint art all day long or play basketball all day long? That is their art. That is a thing that they enjoy doing. And I really enjoy doing this. That doesn't mean that I don't want to take a vacation or I don't want to do something else sometimes. That happens, just like anybody that does anything. Even if they love it, they love to take a break as well. So What vitamins and supplements do you take or recommend? I literally take them all. Garlic, curcumin, moringa. I take pomegranate. I take beets. Basically, every organic vitamin you could take, I take. I'm really sorry, guys. I don't know what's up with IG. IG is being really dumb today because I've had a ton of people ask to go live, and I can't actually have it go through. It's just constantly. There it is. Finally, there's one. Hey, what's up, Nico? How are you? I'm supposed to be there this weekend, Texas.
Where are you?
So I asked. All right, there it goes. So I actually was told I can come to the conference, and then as they tell me that there's room for me now, they then send me another message saying that there's not room for me. And I'm like, all right. They're like, please stand by. I'm like, the conference is Friday. When are you going to tell me? Tomorrow? I'm going to book a flight tomorrow night? Like, that's crazy. But it is what it is. So, I might be coming to Texas, so maybe we can grab some more, faux.
You let me know. You know who's going to pick you up.
All right, sounds good. Every time I go to Texas, Nico comes and picks me up. So it's I appreciate it, Nico.
Yeah, my pleasure. Hey, I have a question for you. So when we finance a house under our own individual name, how do we switch the properties under to a LLC? I've heard that some banks, if they find out that you register the house as under a LLC, they will not revoke the loan, but we'll say you have to pay off the loan.
You have there's a clause in some mortgages. Some mortgages have a clause that say if you change the title of ownership, it will make the loan due immediately. So for example, you get a 30-year mortgage. A year later, you transfer the title, you quick claim it to somebody down the street, whoever it is. So now the property's moved out of your name to somebody else and they paid you money to quick claim it to them. That happened often in 2008. So when people were upside down on their mortgage, they owed $200,000 on a $150,000 property. They would just quick claim the property to someone else. The loan is still in your name, but the property is now in their name. The bank doesn't like that. And that's a warning, guys, because if you quick claim the property to someone that you don't know, remember, the loan is still in your name and you are still responsible for it. They took the ownership of the property and you have still the debt in your name. Now that debt is still attached to the property as well. It's almost like you co-signed for that house for them like you're their parent. Why does that sometimes work? That could work sometimes because you don't want to keep the property anymore. But to answer your question, the banks don't like that. Now, with some of the companies I work with, I tell them up front, this person is going to change it from their name. After the loan is finished, we're going to quick claim it into their LLC. And some of the banks I work with, they say, yes, that's fine. But the LLC has to be owned by them. So if a husband and wife get the loan, the husband and wife need to be on the LLC. That's the rule. It can't be you and someone else that was not initially on the loan.
Okay, so the process is, let's say individually, because I just purchased another property, and the accountant says you have to do an LLC as much as as fast as you have to protect your assets. And after opening the LLC, I just go to the county and just do the registration, the quick claim to the LLC.
Yes.
Okay.
But remember, when you do that, a lot of times they'll charge you the transfer tax again. So be cautious on how much you say that you are selling the property to the LLC for. So some counties will let you say that you could put it for $100. Some counties will require you to make it at a minimum of what your current mortgage amount is. So you could pay another $1,500 to $2,000 in taxes. Doc stamps.
Okay, so that's not tax property. Totally different. Just the
it's called doc. It's doc stamps.
Yeah. Okay, doc
So whenever you do a refi, you pay doc stamps. Whenever you buy a property, you pay doc stamps. It's basically, to be honest, it's like sales tax. You're basically paying sales tax on the property, except it's a reduced amount. But it's not called sales tax, it's called doc stamps.
Doc stamps. Okay, yeah, I was wondering how to do it because I was a little afraid of transferring to an LLC, and then the bank finds out and they say, hey, like as I said, the loan is due, and I was like, what am I going to do now?
That's why I think I mentioned it to you before. I said it at a different live event, saying that you have to make sure that when you're getting these loans, that you verify that the bank allows it, that the lender allows it. So there's lenders that I work with that allow that.
Yeah, I'm just afraid of calling the banks and say, hey, I just have a quick question here. And they say, what's your file number again?
No, I mean, asking a question, like, it's not like asking an insurance question. Like, so Nico's in insurance. I'm also in insurance. In insurance, if you call the auto insurance company, says, hey, I got a car accident. Can I, how much would it be, blah, blah, blah. What would my deductible be? And they'll tell you. Well, if you call Progressive and you tell Progressive that, they're actually going to put down that you had a claim. They paid you or they did not pay you. It doesn't matter. You called, you told them you got into an accident. It goes on your record, and it's basically it's an accident on your record. This is not the same thing with a mortgage. You can call and ask. But that's another reason why you should have a good mortgage broker. Because if you have a good mortgage broker, he will already have that answer for you. So that's why your mortgage broker, your accountant, your insurance person, these are all partners. They are partnering with you. So when you have a question, you ask them. Now, if you keep on asking a mortgage broker a bunch of questions and you never do a mortgage with them, that's kind of like rude and they're not going to answer the phone anymore. But if you're doing business with them, then other times they're going to answer your questions because they know eventually you're going to come back, you're going to bring them business, and they're going to make money eventually. So they're willing to help. If not, what happens is they end up charging, like certain people will charge consulting fees because they're like, okay, I'll answer questions, but I need to make money somehow, everybody has to pay for their food, they don't eat for free. So Sarah says, she has a great question. Sarah says, can you just buy it with an LLC from the start? The answer is you can buy it with an LLC from the start. The issue with that is that you're not going to get a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac loan. You're not going to get a 2.99% interest rate. You're not going to get one of those good deals. So what you normally do is you get it with a better financing option, which is Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and then you do a quick claim to the LLC. That's the way you could get the better interest and get the protection. Now, again, I own 23 units in my personal name, did not have an LLC. So you don't have to have an LLC. What you have to have is good insurance. Because if you have good insurance and good liability coverage, they're going to protect you. That's what matters.
Who do you do your pup with?
Right now, I have my pup is with Safeco.
Okay.
And then I have also another umbrella policy for my LLCs.
Okay. It's not more like a business related.
Well, it's for rental property as well, but some pups don't cover your LLCs.
Okay.
So that's the other thing you got to remember is when you have an LLC, your pup might not cover it. So now you have to have a separate general liability policy. It's all regarding to the guidelines of your insurance company that you're working with. So some will, some won't. And in states like Florida, it's very fluid. Some people will do something, some people won't do something. Not everyone offers the same home insurance policy. Just because you have an HO3 doesn't mean they're all the same. Some will have some things, some won't have some things. So you have to know the details.
Yeah, that's something that I have to look into. The ones I work with, they're a little strict on the guidelines. If you just have like cars and one home or two homes or something, but then everything, when you have a dog, like I have like a pit bull, they reject me right off the bat.
That's right. So they don't allow some breeds. Sometimes they will allow it as long as you basically sign off saying that, you understand that there's no coverage for this. Exclusion. Yep.
Yeah.
So I was asked, I said, do I have a list of the companies that allow for LLCs? I do not, because a lot of times this list is fluid. First 3 months, this company will allow it. The next 3 months, they won't allow it. It's kind of like insurance. For 3 months, this company will allow something. Then they would have a whole bunch of claims, and now they don't allow that anymore. So same thing with banks. The second they get filled up with a certain type of loan, they don't want that anymore. They don't want to take on an additional risk. So they're managing the risk. They don't allow this anymore. Now a company has been conservative for a while and they want to grow. How do they grow? They take on more risk. So it's that combination of, taking risk on and off to grow a company. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't.
Sean is asking a question that is very interesting. I work for several different insurance companies, and none of them do Airbnb shop, but there is one company specific, and I don't have the name, and that's the only bad thing now. But do you know any company that is specific for Airbnbs, Bas?
So there is in Florida, there is multiple different companies that allow different terms. There are some companies that will allow 3-month rentals. There are some companies that allow 1-month rentals. And there's rare that there's ones that allow 1 week rentals. So it depends what you're shooting for with your Airbnbs, huh? How short-term is short-term? Like daily? So Cabrillo in Florida allows short-term. If you have Airbnbs in Florida, feel free to DM me and we'll get you a policy with Cabrillo to cover your Airbnbs.
There we go. They got the wife helping out, huh?
Yes, definitely. Yes. So again, that's part of the benefits that you get with working with us is that, I can literally go down the hall and be like, hey, what do we have for this situation? And within 5 minutes, I get an answer. That's kind of the benefit we have as being a one-stop shop.
Good. Good deal, Bess. So thank you so much for the time again, and I wait for your call on Friday then. Just let me know what time you're landing.
God willing, they tell me that I have a room, that I have a place to stay. I'm still waiting to book my flight.
What do you mean place to stay? Do they have a free space on the seminar, or is that a hotel that they need?
I'm going to be staying in the hotel because, like I said last time, the event starts at 8 a.m. So I just want to get up, roll out of bed, and go down to the event. And then it ends at 10 p.m. sometimes. So it's you remember what happened last time. So, but they don't know if they have enough rooms for me, rooms. They have enough rooms in a hotel. They don't have enough room for me in the seminar. So I'm
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I'm waiting for them to have more room in the seminar. Because if it was just about a room, I would have just gotten a room in a different hotel or, stayed with you. But yeah, God willing, they'll be able to have room for me in the hotel. Not hotel, but in the event.
In the place, got it. Yeah, if you need some help, physically going there and talking to people, let me know. I got Friday a little bit, half of the day off.
Sounds good. I look forward to seeing you. Everybody, God bless. I hope you all have a great night. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm out. Have a great night.